Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are currently slowly pushing out over here, but to be honest, we're not trying too hard. Our offensive lines are not particularly strong at this point, and the reason for that is because our armored division template sucks. It's really bad. We're going to have to do something about that. For the time being, we can actually go ahead and put in our support companies right now. I'm going to put in a support artillery. I'm going to put in a motorized recon to keep our max speed a little bit higher. Our tanks are still really slow, and we'll have to do something about that. But for the moment, we're also going to put in an engineer company, and I think I'll toss in a maintenance company here. But because I'm planning for this to be a 20-width company, or rather a 20-width division, I don't think that we're going to require a logistics company. We can leave this slot blank in case we feel like we need anything else. Perhaps a signal company if we don't need anything else at all. Honestly, a signal company would probably not be that bad, but that would reduce our soft and hard attack, but increase our breakthrough by a small amount. I'm not sure that that would be a net positive here. At any rate, we'll go ahead and save this here, and that will be our support companies. We're not going to be doing anything else in this just yet, because we have some more research that we want to finish up first. But we'll get that in there, and I have also increased our support equipment to be on X10 and increase this to 20. It'll take a little bit for those factories to be built, but we'll get there. Cool. So we are tearing our way through the advanced artillery. There's our streamlined line finishing up. That will definitely improve that. And that, of course, means that we need to grab Light Construction 5 at this point. So let's get that underway. The super heavy tank chassis will be done in just 4 days here. Our passive defense finished up, and we definitely need to work on our anti-partisan. There we go. Apparently we are in the wrong map mode. So we're not too concerned about the state of this war right now. All we wanted to do was establish a toehold here, and that's what we've done. So we can now definitely work on the modern tank chassis. It's still slightly ahead of time, but let's get that going. In 208 days, that'll be great. So that will tick on forward. And for the moment, we're not too concerned about what's going on here as long as we're largely holding our ground. Let's take a look at supply lines here. Okay, it's not the greatest, but it'll do for the time being. It'll do for now. This railway over here is still under construction. Okay, noted. We do need to work on, let's see, this was on the Improved Infantry Equipment 3. Sure, we can actually grab Night Vision 1. No point in not doing that, in my opinion. And our Engineer Company and Recon Company are going to both be done in about 5 days. So that'll be fine. We'll get those upgrades done. And we also have this infantry division that can go into our reserves. No problem there. There's Anti-Partisan, Research Company, and Engineer Company all finishing on the same day. So we'll grab Anti-Partisan 2. And let's continue to work on this over here. So I think the Logistics Company 4... Why is this saying 2 years here? Ahead of time penalty will be reduced by 2 years. Okay, fair enough. We're not ahead of time. So that's not relevant. We'll just get going on the Logistics Company upgrade. And the Field Hospital, which we're technically not using right now, we could toss the Field Hospital into our infantry divisions here. And that would mean that we are going to end up taking quite a lot less in terms of XP loss as well as manpower loss. Which may not be the worst thing. That may not be the worst thing at all. Let's go ahead and toss it in and see how it feels. There we go. Something kind of along the lines of that. Now, this armored division, I would like to toss something in here. We could go for the logistics company, but that would reduce our soft and hard attack, which I don't like. None of these are actually particularly good in that category. So I think we leave that empty for the armored division for the time being. Okay, cool. So we have this mountain division, of all things. We're going to put that into our reserves. Sure. Lend-Lease we will happily take. Beautiful. And for the time being, we're just working our way down here. They're not ready yet. They will never be ready. Cool. More infantry. What are we recruiting? 4? Okay. That's fine. We still need quite a lot more in terms of armor, so we're not going to back off on our armor recruitment just yet. But we are going to need to get our armor upgrade done soon. We're 155 days away from that. For the time being, banking army experience isn't bad, because it's going to take a lot to upgrade that to what we want. Armenia and Japan is sending us support equipment and towed artillery. Okay, sure. Okay, another infantry division finishes. No problem there. And checking in on our production. Okay. This is not looking bad. In fact, this is looking perfect. We don't need anything else of anything right now. We are positive on our tanks, although that will change. That will definitely change. And things are going to get a little bit grim on that front. So I'm going to back off to 20 here. And we're going to have some idle factories for a moment. We have some right now. We no longer get the effects from absolutism, sure. The main thing that I'm questioning right now. I don't like any of those options. We could make an air force. We have some interwar small airframes. They're not good. But I don't think our opponents have air forces right now either. Our allies are covering our air. Okay. So I think that's not a concern at this moment. We are going to have idle military factories here, and that's okay. And here's why. I want to have a good chunk of idle military factories when this finishes up so that we can start production on this before we switch over, so we can have a little bit of stockpiles on modern tanks. So I think that'll be the best way to go. We'll grab fuel refining 3. Cool. And overall, I think this is going fine. Signal Company 4 finishes. We can definitely work on Maintenance Company 4. Cool. So no major issues here. Our next research that's going to finish is Logistics Company, then Field Hospital 4, then Modern Tank Chassis. So it's not going to be too much longer. Medium tank brigades can head out over here. Nope, over here. There we go. This infantry division into our reserve. Cool. And how many free military factories do we have right now? A good chunk. And that's exactly what we want. We want to toss like 50 military factories at this straight out of the gate. That is ideal. So these infantry divisions are all fine. This medium tank brigade should be sorted into one of these existing armies, but there we go. Oh yeah, we never conquered that in Europa. That's right. Okay, cool. So again, for the moment, we're not really trying to push out here. All we're trying to do right now is cost them things while we build up. We have a much higher build-up capacity than they do. And so this is perfectly fine. Logistics Company 4 finishes, and we'll grab MP4. Upgrading from audio in the MP3 to video in the MP4. Always good. Medium tank brigades filling out this army. I like it. We're going to have to think about logistics out over this way for sure. But right now, I'm not too concerned about that. Although maybe we should be. Maybe we should be. For the moment, it's fine. This infantry division can go here while these guys go here. Cool. Field Hospital 4 finishes, and let's grab Recon Company 4. There we go. We also got this infantry division. One of our generals was wounded, and we have some Lend-Lease being offered to us. We'll accept that. Fantastic. So how long until our modern tank finishes up? 25 days. Beautiful. That is our next research to finish. And this infantry division can go into our reserves. Beautiful. And we've got a lot of factories right now. So that's absolutely great. And we're going to start tamping down on our number of factories that are working on the medium tank. Actually, we could toss all of these into the medium tank for right now and try to build up a bit of a stockpile of it. It's a possibility, and then we can cut down on this dramatically now that the modern tank chassis is done. So that's all of the tank research completed. Cool. Support companies are almost all done as well. Artillery is basically completed. Infantry is getting there. Our naval research, it needs some work. We could get to work on our navy. That's definitely something that we could do. These divisions can get assigned here. Straight into the reserves they go. Beautiful. And now we need to get ourselves a tank. So let's build an armored vehicle. This is going to be the modern tank chassis. So we'll create a variant of that. And we're going to have a modern turret. We're going to have our main armament being... what do we want here? We're looking for this to be heavy breakthrough and both soft and hard attack, ideally. So the heavy cannon gives us a good amount of both of those. Our breakthrough remains 29.9 with that, but that's fine. Yeah, I think the improved heavy cannon is where we're going to go. For our special modules, we could put additional machine guns if we wanted some extra defense. There's a lot of options here. So the autoloader, easy maintenance, sure. For the moment, we're going to go back here. And we're going to bump up our armor up to the max. And our engine up to the max. Okay. So we can see our reliability is down a bit. No doubt about that. So it has no effect above 100%. So we want our speed to be somewhere around like 8 to 10 kilometers per hour. This is faster than it needs to be. We could boost up our stability here. This will give us breakthrough, but minus reliability. Honestly, I feel like this is fine. I want to go with the best type of armor, which is cast armor. Yes, that costs a lot more production, but that's okay. I'm not concerned about the production. Now, I want to run basically the highest reliability engine here. And that's going to be the diesel engine. Okay, so for our special features, we could increase our reliability. This increases our breakthrough, which isn't bad. The autoloader would give us defense and breakthrough. I'm just wondering what exactly the difference is between defense and armor here. Okay. So that's holding the line longer. So presumably you lose less organization when defending versus armor, which makes it so that they need piercing. Right. Got it. So sloped armor seems pretty good. We can definitely run sloped armor. We can run a radio, just a basic radio. We don't really have the higher level radios. We may come back and upgrade that later. And then I'd like something that would increase our reliability. Easy maintenance sounds good. And then we could do defense breakthrough, but that's minus to reliability. Defense and breakthrough, just 5 breakthrough, or 15 reliability. That would get us to 87.7. Okay, noted. So I don't think that's necessarily what we want. So instead, we could run like the stabilizer for more breakthrough. I feel like that's probably good. Reliability of 80%, 81%. I think that's acceptable. We have very high armor here. No doubt about that. And we're fast enough, I think. Yeah, I think overall this will do. So we'll save that. And now we're going to swap this from making the basic medium tank over to making our modern tank chassis that we just made. Now we're probably... Oh, get rid of that. We want to swap this to making the modern tank chassis. We're probably going to upgrade the radio in that, to be clear. Now we're short on tungsten and short on steel. Noted. That's likely going to be a problem, but this will get us additional steel here. Cool. We'll get that underway. Yeah, we're definitely a little bit short on steel here. We can import some from Armenia and Western Africa. and from Nova Scotia. That's 7 civilian factories, though. I'd like to get this from our guys, because that'll be more efficient. So we can bring in some like so. And that allows us to back off a little bit. Cool. Something like that. And now we're at -1. I'm not shocked about that. But Night Vision 1 finishes up. We could work on Night Vision 2 at this point. It's ahead of time, but I don't think we care. Okay, so we need to work on our divisions now. So we need to edit our armor division because we don't have a template and we're missing equipment production for the medium tank. Because we need to swap this over to the modern tank. And so we shall. I'm also going to add another row here of modern tanks. And let's see here. That brings us to combat width of 20. So that looks good. If we want to bring this up to a modern tank width of 40, we can do that. My question is, how necessary do we believe that to be? I don't know that it's super necessary. We can run this for a bit and evaluate it. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll save it. And at this point, we're going to need some modern tanks. That's for sure. So if we look at our modern tanks, we need about 23,000 of them. We're going to start up production on those, but they're going to be fairly expensive to produce. 1.22 a day with 64 factories working on it. Now, we are short on tungsten. So let's go ahead and get some tungsten here if we can. Armenian Pacific is barely exporting any. Yikes. Barely anybody has any. But we can do something like that. And we can get a little bit more steel here. We're still negative on steel and tungsten. Hilarious. Okay. We'll get some from Armenian East Indies, Armenian Australia. And then tungsten, we'll get what we can. Hi, Japan. You want to give us more? Apparently not. Okay. For now, this will do. We're going to be very short on tungsten. I think there's no real way around that. For right now. 2.83 per day. Okay, 2.47. Yeah, because it's fluctuating on the tungsten. That said, we are making our way through that. So Maintenance Company 4 finishes up. And let's go ahead and grab Engineer Company 4. Okay, so we're very short at this point on our modern tanks, right? That's very clear. We need 23,000 of them. We're producing 3 per day. We need to crank up those numbers. And yeah, our tungsten deliveries are fluctuating quite heavily. Noted. We're going to grab these from Ming if we can. And Nova Scotia as well. In fact, anybody who will give tungsten to us, we'll take it. Cool. So, it's because of Tidor here. Every day they're fluctuating whether they're giving it to us or not. That's very strange, but whatever. Okay, so what do we need at this point? Well, we need our modern tanks to scale up. Our production efficiency is very low. It will improve. So that's good. We're also going to need to start actually pushing out down here at some point soon. So in order to think about that, we need to think, when do we want to do this? Do we want to wait for a significant period of time until our tanks are delivered? Well, we're also seeing some overall supply issues down over here. And that makes sense. So let's go ahead and begin construction on a supply hub out over here, as well as a rail line connecting like that. And a rail line, I'd like to have this connected up as well. So let's get that underway. Beautiful. We can also potentially motorize this hub, which will help matters. There we go. So we'll get that underway. This supply hub is still overtaxed, but that's fine. We definitely need to continue to work on our naval researches. I'm not going to spend naval power on accelerating that. It's fine. It's fine as it is. So we'll get that all going, and we've got this infantry division that can go into our reserves. Cool. So that will be absolutely fine. Yeah, we're definitely having some supply struggles down over here, but that should get fixed. So that will be just fine. We are going to put these guys into our reserves as well. Cool. So how's our ramp up going here? Recon Company 4, sure, they're not ready yet. Recon Company 4 finishes, so this is all done at this point. We want to continue to work on our Navy. So we're going to grab the 1944. Actually, I'm just going to keep moving down this row for now. We did skip the super heavy battleship hull. Let's just get that done. Okay. And these infantry divisions can go into the reserves. Beautiful. Okay, how are we doing on ramping up our production of the modern tank? We're short on pretty much everything. So we're going to move this up to be top priority. Like this. Chromium. We are quite short on chromium at this time. We can get some from Ming. And that'll help. We're importing basically all of the steel in the world right now. Not quite, but close. Okay, Japan, sure. Cool. Fuel Refining 3 finishes up. And we are, of course, we finished up construction. We have not grabbed Excavation 5. We definitely should do this. 100% we should grab Excavation 5. Can we do any additional upgrades here? Yes. Expanding iron ore mines again. We should also continue to work on getting this all researched. There we go. Hello, pause menu. And these divisions can definitely go into the reserves. Now, these tanks are going to take a while to finish up construction because, of course, we are very short on our modern tank chassis. Very, very short on that. What is our overall production of tungsten? Can we see what our tungsten production is? Exported 135. Okay, so we should come in here and switch from export focus to like a closed economy. Let's not export resources. So what does that do? Okay, that solved our problem. So we're going to cancel a bunch of these orders. Beautiful. We've got plenty of resources now for the time being. Our amount of tungsten is going to be interesting. We'll see if that maintains. But for the time being, I would like to back off on importing all of the world's resources. So we'll definitely do that. Can we just... Is there a button to just cancel every trade order that we have? I don't know. But we'll see what this ends up looking like. And Ming will back off on our chromium. We still have some tungsten orders here. Okay. So we'll clear these. All looking good. Cool. So we're definitely low on tungsten. There's no doubt on that. And that is going to continue to be a problem. The 1940 cruiser hull has finished up. And we're not eventually going to want to have this many factories working on this, right? So eventually we're going to want to change that. We have a research slot available, which we can definitely throw onto All or Nothing Armor Scheme. There we go. And in terms of our actual tank production, we're now up to 9 per day. And it's still going to increase by a pretty wide margin. So that's good. We've got a lot of tanks to replace. And we're working on it. It'll take some time. Blueprint stealing has finished. We'll sort that into our reserves and then work on portable radios. Beautiful. And with that, it is about time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to continue to tear through the naval researches here. Let's just get those queued up real quick. And we are also going to start looking at actually pushing out over here. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, Mlohan80, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisoul, Kadra, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.